Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I hope you're doing well. We are here today in the hydroelectric plant in Mittweida and we are going to have such a nice interview with Eric Rosenfeld, who is here with us. Thank you very much for coming. How are you?
Good, it's a nice day.
You are an English teacher from LA, right? And you're living here in Germany. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit to get to know each other a little bit?
Yeah, as you said, my name is Eric, and I was born in Los Angeles, and I lived there. Well, I went to Brazil as a senior in high school for kind of what they call Austausch in German, exchange program. And then I majored in Spanish and Portuguese in the university in California. And then I eventually moved to Hawaii, and then from Hawaii to Germany now.
Okay, really nice. So before we start the proper interview, we're going to jump into our ping pong section.
Okay.
So the ping pong section, I'm just going to ask you really quick some short questions, and you're going to answer them, really quick as well. Okay? Are you ready for it?
Really quick.
Really quick.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite country?
America. What? Why did I say America? It's my country, I guess. Okay.
Favorite city?
San Diego.
Okay. Favorite animal?
Penguin. I don't even know. Squirrel.
Squirrel. Okay. Favorite food?
Chinese food. I don't even know if these are true. I think they're just coming to my mind.
That's okay. No problem. Favorite hobbies or hobby?
Surfing and just one, or?
If you want to say another one, you can.
Okay, surfing and breakdancing and performing live open mics.
Okay, great. Favorite season of the year?
Yeah, that's hard, but here in Germany, I would say it's really beautiful every season except winter, but I'll still go with summer.
Okay. Favorite song?
Favorite song? Steel Pulse is the band, and the song is Your House.
Okay. And favorite English word?
Favorite English word? I think there's some funny sounding English words. I don't know if they're my favorite, but I think extravaganza sounds funny.
Okay. What do you hate the most?
People not really thinking about the big picture, like blaming somebody else and not realizing that that person is just doing what they know, it's not really their fault, that kind of thing.
Okay. And what do you love the most?
I love trees and being in the forest and at the ocean and in the water.
Okay. And finally, what is your biggest dream?
My biggest dream right now? I don't know. I think I kind of dream of going back to my homeland, California, and being able to live there as I get older, because it's home. Maybe there's a certain part of me that wants to go back home, even though I'm having a good time here.
That's really pretty. We're going to talk about this now. Okay, thank you very much for your quick answers. I know that's a difficult thing to do. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so you've talked that you are from LA, but you travel around the world, Brazil, Hawaii, now in Germany. I'm going to ask you, how did you end up here?
That's the hardest question to
Why
answer.
Germany? Yeah.
Starting way back in 2013, I was dating somebody, a woman in Switzerland. So I spent a lot of time in Switzerland visiting her. And I started to just really like the German-speaking part of Europe, Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. And so then after she and we broke up, but we stayed friends. And there was a point at which I just wanted to leave Hawaii. I was feeling too limited there, and I had been there too long. So she offered for me to stay with her for a little while I look for, a job somewhere in Switzerland or, and see if I can live there a little bit. So I was already starting to learn German at that point from my most recent travels to Switzerland. And I thought, well, that's good. I can move to Germany and really become fluent. Of course, that doesn't really happen so easily when you move to Germany, but that was my idea. So I looked desperately on the internet before it was too late that I would have to go back to the United States, and I discovered by searching online for where there are apartments available and, jobs, also teaching English, which is one of the few things I could do legally in Germany. And it turns out that was in this area, in Sachsen, in Chemnitz, for example, and some small towns around here. So I moved to this area. That's how I ended up in this part of Germany, yeah.
Okay. And you also mentioned that this moving abroad to here in Germany was a little bit complicated for you for, being alone. But about your family, how did this decision affect them? Or what was their reaction? What did they think about you? And
when I was living in Hawaii still back in 2019 or 2018, for example, I was helping my mom a lot taking care of my dad because he was really not well and he required a lot of help and he had paralysis and things and he needed help moving around and stuff. And so it was a tough decision to leave them, but I really wanted to get on with my life and get out of Hawaii and move on to other things. And so it was a little tough convincing my mother to let me go or to feel comfortable with that at first. I knew she wasn't sure what would happen, But then they found people to help my father. And so it worked out, And then we were in touch, through WhatsApp and, and every now and then talking on the phone through WhatsApp. My mom became really happy that things were working out here and that I was finding work and that the cost of living is not so high, so it's affordable and things were going well. And they loved I created a group on WhatsApp with my mom and other relatives. My dad at that time was still alive. He died last year, but at that time he was still alive. And so I was, communicating with them with a lot of photos and things, showing them what's here, and everybody really liked it, and they thought it was really cool that I was here. So
I'm glad, and I'm sorry for your dad as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
About this topic, we jump into a similar one. Do you consider that LA is still your home, or have you built a new home here in Germany? Or what does a place feel like home? What has to
I think you can have more than one home, but I wonder, is it if you had a childhood like I did in one particular house for a long time, and that really is your whole childhood, then I think that always will be your home, that place. I mean, assuming that it isn't filled with some other problems, trauma or things like that, But if you had at least a loving childhood, then that place, how can it not be home for you, So in the back of my mind or my heart, then that area of California, Los Angeles, where we lived, and also places that we regularly drive to or visit, will always feel like home.
Mm-hmm. That's really nice.
Yeah. So I mean, there's other homes, so to speak, but they're not as really home as the home where you were a child. Actually.
Of course, of course. And it's really interesting that you said that because you love traveling, right? Since when does this passion come? Like, when did you started to love traveling? Do you remember?
Very, very young. I was always dreaming. We lived near the ocean. My grandmother lived on the ocean, and so we would visit her. And I remember every time we would come through the canyon and then see the ocean, and instantly I would look at that horizon. I would think, there's something out there. Wow, there's something out there, and I got to see it, I remember standing on her balcony looking down at the beach and out at the Pacific. And it was like I was not as interested in what was happening right in front of me, even if it was a birthday cake. I was just looking at that horizon, like the adventure. Yeah, some people, it's more part of who they are than other people,
So what motivates you to travel then, this dream?
Newness, the excitement of something completely new and how beautiful it can be when you're seeing it for the first time. And the feeling of independence and not, you don't, as a child, when you're thinking about these things, it all looks wonderful to just escape and run away. Of course, if you're really away from your family, it's scary too, right?
And do you travel alone or with friends? What do you prefer?
Well, if it's just going on trips, then being with friends is fun, I mean, it can be exciting to be alone, but I just think for truly traveling and spending time in another country or something and even living there, even just traveling to visit places, there's something about traveling alone. There's something about going to a place on your own. I don't know. It's just more of an adventure, and you're not distracted by that other person, you know? You're more paying attention to what's around you, you know? So it's nice to travel with friends, but there's something about traveling alone that's really special.
Nice, okay. And since you love traveling, I don't know if you were here in Germany when the lockdown, coronavirus.
Yeah, that's when situation. I got here. Yeah.
Okay, so you were here before.
It started like right after I moved, yeah.
And how that impacted your life? Because you love traveling so much and then suddenly you cannot do it, so.
Well, thankfully, before it came, before the wave hit, I had found my apartment where I could stay and just kind of living out sort of like a fantasy during that time because I couldn't really work, you know, because of the corona situation for those first few months, you know. They opened it up in the summer after, but, you know, for several months I couldn't work. So I had to just kind of hunker down and just be there alone in the apartment. And every once in a while I was talking to my landlords or I'd see somebody on the street and wave hi and stuff. But it was like I was alone. But it was like this beautiful alone kind of experience, you know?
It sounds really romantic.
Yeah, it's with yourself. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
So, you know.
I really feel it.
Yeah. I mean, actually at that time I remember because I wrote in my journal to myself, it'd be really nice to meet, you know, somebody and be dating and kind of have this kind of time. But, you know, you can't ask for everything. I mean, it's Falkenau, you know. I had never lived alone in my life. I realized that. I had always lived with either family, friends, you know, somebody. That was the first time in my life that I actually lived alone. And there's something about it. There's something about it. If you have a nice view out your window and a nice neighborhood and people you can trust or count on if you need help, you know, like I think I did there. I think I learned real early on that German people may not be, this is of course a stereotype and it's well known, but they say, and it's true, that German people may not be so easy to get to know at first, but if you get to know them, they will be a good friend, you know? And I felt blessed that I had support around there if I needed it, you know?
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's talk now about your career. Okay, you're an English teacher, but we've heard that it's not the only job that you had. Yeah, you already told us what you studied, but when did your job of work career really start?
Yeah, you know, it's tricky. Unlike most of the people I grew up with who followed a specific track, you know, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a business person, I kind of always was running away. The same person that wanted to travel to the horizon of the ocean wanted not to get rooted down in one place. You know, I didn't want to get stuck. I think that's a very basic thing about my personality is that nothing is worse than feeling stuck. And so I didn't want to get into a particular career track because I felt like that would make me stuck in something or keep me in one place or something. And so unfortunately, the result of that is that you don't end up being very wealthy, you know, if you don't stick with a particular career, if you keep going from one thing to another, you know. But I survived over the years doing different things, you know. Teaching is one thing. As tour guiding in Hawaii, especially nature tours, was kind of a cool experience. DJing, you know, promoting parties and events. I did some writing, you know. There's been a few things, yeah, over the years. Yeah.
And what about the DJing? Like, how did you become a DJ? What did you like about it? I can imagine that you love music as well.
Yeah, I'm really into music. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I haven't done something more with that as a, you know, as a singer or as a, you know, performer or something. But I have done some, you know, but I guess radio was just an opportunity. When I moved to Hawaii, I was 27, I think. And there was a radio station on the campus that was listened to by people in the wider city of Honolulu because it was kind of a unique radio station that was non-commercial, right, and student-run. And because of my experience living in Brazil, when I got involved in the radio station just as a side project, as a hobby, some of the people from the radio station asked me to do a Brazilian music show once a week because they didn't have such a thing, but they had all these CDs that were donated from record labels and from people for Brazilian music, and nobody was playing them. For a while, I was playing this music to just the people of Honolulu, the people of Hawaii, and they liked it, but they didn't know much about it, right? But soon some Brazilians started listening. And then, like wildfire, it was all around the island. Every Brazilian knew the show. And, you know, people knew that show and they liked it. And then they started asking me to DJ Brazilian parties. And yeah.
Yeah, that honestly sounds amazing to me. That's so great. Okay.
Yeah.
And the final question, we always ask this question to all of the people that came here. So what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, God, there's a lot. Yeah. Maybe the overall rule I would tell myself is just, if you're thinking about saying something or doing something in relation with other people or whatever, and you're not sure if you should, ask yourself this question. Am I doing it for attention? Am I doing it because I want them to like me? Or am I doing it because it's really what I want to do and want to say, and I'm going to do it regardless of what they think or something like that? I would say, like, just never do or say something just to get people to like you, you know? And the other thing would be, learn to be vulnerable, learn to feel vulnerable. It's good, it's healthy to be uncomfortable, not sure if people approve of you or like you or not, or whether you're doing the right thing or whatever, you know, or to allow yourself to fall in love with somebody, or allow yourself to get close to somebody, or to commit to something because it makes you feel vulnerable. Like, experience that vulnerability, go through it, and come out the other side. You'll be much stronger than if you just pretended, you know. I don't know, something like that.
That's such a nice advice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming here. I'd love to talk to you. It was amazing. Thank you for your really strong and powerful answers, and really interesting life that you have and all the travel. So thank you very much. I hope you are fine.
Yeah, the ping pong round was hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine. But yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure for having you here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was really nice to talk to you and do this.
Thank you.